Good day, grade 12 learners. Welcome to today's business studies lesson. My name is Tsediso Tlhaka, and today we'll be looking into your forms of ownership. Did you know registering your business as a company is best because it allows for investment and management is done by competent directors. Furthermore, it allows for personal assets of the owner not to be at risk should the business fail to perform. So in terms of choosing forms of ownerships, and this is obviously when you want to register a business, the best form of ownership I would recommend, it would be your company. Your company is the best for investment because you get your assets to be safe should anything happen. As you can see on the picture, your personal assets will not be affected when you're looking into this form of ownership. Now, lesson objectives for our lesson. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to explain the meaning of limited liability and unlimited liability. You should further explain the characteristics of each form of ownership. Then you should evaluate the impact or positives and negatives of the different forms of ownership. This is our concept map. We're going to start by looking into the meaning of limited and unlimited liability. Thereafter, we're going to look into the characteristics of each form of ownership and then look into the impact of each form of ownership to say what are the positives and what are the negatives of each form of ownership in terms of you deciding to either register one. Now, pre-knowledge, you must know the different forms of ownership and the characteristics of each form of ownership. And to test that, we have a pre-knowledge practice. JJ Tech Shop is owned by Jabu, who takes all the profit. This form of ownership is known as public company, partnership, cooperative, or sole trader. We know that a business that is owned by one person is considered to be a sole trader. So the answer here is supposed to be sole trader because Jabu takes all the profit, meaning Jabu is not sharing with anyone, Jabu is not a shareholder, but Jabu is a business person who owns and makes all the decisions alone. As we proceed, new words and languages for this topic, you should understand what do we mean by the term form of ownership. This is the legal position of the business and the way it is owned, obviously, the way it is controlled as well. Then we have a term called continuity, which refers to the idea that to continue to exist, meaning the business will continue to exist even if a change of ownership takes place. For example, a member or a shareholder dies or retired, will that business continue or not? But if we are saying a business has continuity, it means the business will continue whether the member or an owner passes away. As we move on, directors. These are people elected to the board of a company by shareholders to represent the shareholders' interest. So a company is basically ran by directors. These are people who act like the eyes, ears, hands, and the legs of a company, meaning they run the business or the company on a day-to-day basis. This would be applicable to a company. So they run a company on a day-to-day basis in order to ensure that the interest of shareholders is achieved. And remember, shareholders are people who just invest or who put money into the company, but they are not actively involved on the day-to-day runnings of a company. Therefore, directors become people who are active. Hence, we say they are elected. And who elects these directors? They are elected by shareholders so that they can make sure that they pursue the interest of shareholders. Then, we have the term audit. Audit refers to the process where an organization's accounts are checked to make sure its financial operations are honest and to make sure that they are accurate as well. So those are your new words and language for this topic. So with that being said, let us take a short break and we will continue with the characteristics of each form of ownership and the impact.